record. Okay, so now recording. So anyway, I was just trying to be helpful to you guys. And so I was going through a lot of the library resources, and there's a lot of features that they have where you can create classes and assign things to kids. So I just kind of went through every feature that they have in their library resources folder in Launchpad, and I looked at my own kids. So I logged in as them so I could see exactly what they have. And I went through resource by resource and just kind of combed through it. So I was just going to kind of walk through each little program here and just share my screen and kind of talk about some of the features. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. And if I can't answer it, I'll write it down and I'll ask the library services people. They've been on hand to kind of help out. I had like a couple of login issues in Launchpad. Some of the things were supposed to automatically log you in. So I did have a little bit of difficulty with Britannica, and I emailed right away. They were able to kind of fix it out. So in order for your kids to have any of these things, they're going to have to log into Launchpad. Some of the activities look like they could be printable. So you might, if you're assigning this for your digital kids, and then you also have your paper kids, you could print out something so that way they're kind of similar. So the first one I'm going to start with, and I'm just going to go through the list. Let me do share screen. And we're now looking at my Launchpad. Okay. So in your Launchpad, we have our library resources folder. Now I have, and you guys probably have more access than the kids will, all right? But the first one that's gonna be useful to them is BrainPop. And since I see most of you are kinder, or probably all of you are, I'm gonna go to BrainPop Junior, but the kids have it based on what grade level they're in. So Carter in second grade, he had BrainPop Junior. So when you go into BrainPop, of course, we know how to search for videos, so I'm not going to waste your time showing you how to search for videos, but I will show you up here, there's this thing called the dashboard. So if you go to the teacher dashboard, you are able to create classes. Oh my gosh. You are able to create classes. So I tried and played around today to set up some different classes. So I set up like a kindergarten classroom and a first grade classroom. So in order to do that, sorry, I'm having difficulty with my computer right now. I'm sorry. There's some stuff being covered by my little Zoom screen, so I'm having some trouble seeing. Okay. So up here in the top corner, there is a button that says Add New Class. So that's simply how you would create your class. So I'll just call this, since I haven't made a fifth grade one, fifth grade library, and then I go to create class, and right when I do that, it tells me the directions of how to get my kids into this class. So you could like screenshot that and clip that, or they have this download this handy PDF. So when you do that, it pops up like almost little cards like that. So you could send those out to your kiddos. So back to the dashboard. From there, your class is set up. And then you're able to create different assignments. So I created like a chicken pox assignment. I was just playing around. So right here, you have a create new assignment, and BrainPop or BrainPop Junior, you'll have the ability to choose. So since you're in kindergarten, you'll want to go with the BrainPop Junior. And then you can kind of search topics, like maybe coming up is Earth Day. So oh, well, that's not a good topic apparently. How about just Earth? No? Okay. Let's see. We'll just browse their topics, because apparently what I'm looking for, they do not have. Amelia Earhart. Sounds good to me. Not found. Okay. I did not have this difficulty when I was creating my assignments earlier. I had things just kind of pop right up. So I did not anticipate this. Changing states of matter. Not found. I wonder if it's because it's BrainPop Junior that it's a little more, let's say maps. Reading maps. Okay, so I added one about reading maps. I can make a movie. The movie feature, it adds the video for them. So you can go ahead and like assign that. You can add like a quiz. There's a coding thing. They have some other features available, but I think you get more with like the older kids. Let me go into my assignment that I had already created so you can see exactly when you have one created, what that looks like. because I was able to add some of the other things. Yes, I want to leave that. Okay, you'll be able to see some of the other features that I was able to add into my chickenpox assignment. So here is my chickenpox assignment. I assigned it to my kids so I could see how it worked. They would watch the video because I added in the movie. Then they have this draw about it. So I can view it as a student so you can see what they're able to see, so you can see exactly like how cool it is. So the draw about it one, sorry, the Zoom thing is blocking my vision. So they could draw about what they learned from chickenpox. What's one way you can prevent the spread of chickenpox? They could draw a picture of like a faucet, and maybe they're washing their hands. And they show that way is how they prevent against chickenpox. If we go back to the chickenpox assignment, I couldn't get the game to work. They're supposed to do like a little maze, but that I had a little difficulty with. There's a wordplay one where they have different words that they have learned during the video. And if you click on them, okay. And so they can draw about it, they can write about it, they can act it out, and write a little skit. So that's kind of a neat feature. There's also where they can do some coding. The chickenpox talk about it. They have like graphic organizers that they can do, and they're able to type in their response to the graphic organizer and talk about it. There is the chickenpox map, and they are able to make like a little graphic organizer about what they've learned. So there's definitely different features. I think the ones that'll benefit like Kendra the most would probably be like the wordplay, or the drawing one is a great one. So you can assign the movie and then have them do like a digital product, all by creating a class and creating an assignment. Also back up here, I'm gonna go back to BrainPop Junior. On my dashboard is where I was able to create a class. You can go to Quiz Mixer, and I was kind of playing around with this, and you can start a new quiz. So I was starting one over like natural resources, but it lets you can type out your own quiz and send those out to your classes as well. So I thought that that was a neat feature of BrainPop that we don't typically like use. It's easier for us to just put the video on and watch it for everyone, but here's a way to send out the videos to them and have some kind of a watch and then do piece. And then you're able to go in and look at your class and see the work that they have completed. All right, so that is BrainPop. I'm gonna look back at the chat just to see if there were any questions, because I think I muted everybody. So let me see, stop share, pause share. Okay, I can't figure that out. I'm not gonna waste y'all's time trying to, okay, Carol raised her hand, I see that. Sorry guys, this is like so new to me. I use it for announcements, but I've never hosted a chat to like do a PD. So FYI, I'm super nervous about this, number one. And then number two, like it's just kind of intimidating to try to figure out how to stop sharing my screen and look back at our participants. Okay, I'm back. Okay, chat. Let's see, to everyone. Okay, I see Carol raised her hand more. Okay, Carol, do you want to type a question into the chat, or let me unmute you and see if you have a question? What's your question? Do you have a question, Carol? I'm sorry. I unmuted you. Do you want to ask? Or are you okay? Okay. So now I'm going to go back to sharing my screen, I guess, since I don't see anything. Oh, excited to create a class. Oh, yay. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. And now we're back in the NAIC apps. So that was BrainPop. Our next one is going to be Britannica. So they'll need to be on all levels. Now, this is where it got a little hairy earlier, because you'll notice I have two of the exact same icons. They were supposed to delete one of them, and I still see that I have both of them, so hopefully I picked the right one. If not, that's why, and I'll have to go back and choose the other. Okay, it's gone. All right, so It should automatically log me in. Now I've used this like for them to look up just different information about different subjects. It's kind of like an online encyclopedia. But you'll notice when I'm in here, we have like a My Britannica and stuff on top. Also at the top, there's a part that says students and educators. So if you click on educators, I think that that's a real good place to start out. So right here with the My Content, you are able to add articles, videos, and images when you are in there. So like you can create a new pack. So you're like basically kind of making a folder of all the things that you want to add in. It could be articles, it could be videos, it could be your own resources. So I'm going to say, let's create a pack. Let's call this insects. And so I'm going to click add. So it says to fill in some of my information about the topic. Well, insects, I'm thinking science, right? So I'll click science. And then grade range, well, let's say pre-K to second grade. And then I'm going to go to browsing, and I can filter the content. So let me see what kind of articles I can find for insects. It is so hard to see with this silly Zoom thing. How do I hide this? I'm sorry, hide self view. Is that what I did? I don't know how to make this smaller, and it's blocking exactly what I need to see. Okay, so I'm looking in articles, and then it says to select a level, I want level 1. And then it let me search the insects. I don't know if you could see that. You probably are able to see what I can't see that's under this sidebar here. I'm not sure. So I'm going to click on insect, and maybe this is what I want to assign them. Hey, this looks pretty good. It's a general overview of insects. It talks about all these different features. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, although I don't know if I can add it because it's blocked by this Zoom conference thing. I apologize again for that because I can't add it in. Do you see underneath, right down here, there is a plus sign that says add. That is how you would add it to your board. And I cannot scroll down there and add that to insects, so it's completely blocked by my little Zoom screen here. So I'm just going to add this one so you can see, even though it wasn't exactly what I wanted, that way you can see about the adding of that. I could also maybe want a video about insects for them, and you can preview them and see if this is what you want. If you do, then you would just add it to your video. And now that I'm in here, I can't even get out. Okay. And so you would click and say, okay, we can add this video. All right, it says you can upload your own document. So say you create your own like rubric to grade them on, or maybe it's a sheet that goes along with it, or some type of a PDF, you're able to upload that into your pack as well. And then over here, you can share out your pack by clicking on this link. And it creates it for you. It wants to know like how long you want to do it over. Like maybe you think it's going to take them 30 to 60 minutes and over 5+ days. You can go on to add in the objective of it, any procedures that need to be followed, additional information that they might need, and then you can click like save your lesson plan, and then we would be publishing it. And I don't know what that means. Publishing your lesson plan means it'll be available. Wonderful. And then from there, once I've published my lesson plan, I'm able to send that out to our kiddos. So also there's a way that you can do lesson plan browsing. So if you're in your educators, I'm sorry, you can go to lesson plan browser, and then you're able to look through some ones that are already pre-created and also send them out to your kids with the link after you publish it. It creates a link that you would email out or post into your Google Classroom. Also back in educators, these were some pretty neat little things that they have. The articles, you could search any of the articles and they have it grouped by subject. Back in our educators tab, we also have the media, and that allows them to search any of the images and video, also by subject, just like the articles were arranged. Animal Kingdom is pretty cool because they can go and explore different animals. So you could tell them to find their own animal and that they want to research or look into a little bit more. And when you click on it, they can go from there and choose and read more about individual animals. So I like that one. Also, back in educators, we have the Atlas tool. Now, I can't see it. I don't know if you can see it. I see my Zoom screen, but it's right here. So they can type in, like, if they want to go to a place and decide to research a place, maybe they're looking at Italy because of all the stuff that's now over there. So it says at the top of my map, you can see Europe, Italy. They can click on the summary and learn more about that country. And then read articles. So they might just be able to look at the map and decide, well, you're stuck at home right now. Where in the world would you want to go? Tell me about it. And then that's a way for them to go and learn more about another place in the world. Back to our educator spot, we also have, I thought the comparing countries was pretty cool. So you can choose a country, like, so whatever one, maybe China, and then have them compare it to our country. And find the United States. There we go. And then from there, it pulls up a breakdown of all the different things, and they can compare and contrast and have some kind of a product from there. So that's also another neat little feature in our Britannica School Online. So those were just some of the things I wanted to share with you about Britannica. I'm going to move on to our next app. I see that I have a chat, so I found a better way to look at it. Okay, left brain pop and public logo. Oh, thank you. Click on the smallest square in your Zoom box. It makes it just a talking box. My smallest square in my Zoom. Oh, oh my gosh. Thank you, Cindy. Yes. Okay. Yes. Now I can see my screen. Oh my gosh. Praise the Lord. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. That was like kind of hard to do this when I can't see like almost like a fifth of my screen. Okay, you are awesome. All right, so I'm gonna minimize that chat now. Okay, so back in library resources, we're gonna move from Britannica to Capstone. This is an awesome interactive book website. So they have a bunch of preloaded, but this is like, it reads aloud, it tracks their print. This is great. So you can search by books that are popular, the newest, the title. You can do a visual search, like, do you want fiction? And what kind of fiction? All fiction? You want scary, science fiction, adventure? Maybe they're your favorite characters. We can see some of the favorite characters that pop up. Now, they don't have a bazillion books available like they would on Sora, but I find the read-along capabilities of this one is way better. Also, they have them by guided reading level. Oh, I think it still has me in this visual search. So hang on. Get out. Okay, Capstone Interactive. It's wanting to filter it. I don't want the filter. Sorry. I don't use these all the time, but I just want to make sure. Okay, I don't got you long right. So guided reading level, you can look for ones that are a little easier, although I don't know why they're in Spanish. That's kind of weird. Maybe that might not be the best filter for everyone. The Lexile one, maybe that'll be helpful for like the upper grades, but I don't know why it's not showing books. I had no problem with this earlier. I think it has something to do with one of my filters. Maybe I need to like refresh this. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a way for you to like assign books or create a class or anything. You could just tell them, hey, you can practice your reading. But let me just show you, for example, Swimming with Sharks. We can play the book and it loads up. It's going to ask me if I want it to read page by page, where I would tell it when to turn, or if I want to read the whole thing at one time. I do page by page. Okay, so it's not like your robotic voice that's reading it. You can pause it, right? So if I'm needing to pause it, I can pause it. I can also turn the audio off if I just wanted to read it by myself by just clicking audio right there. But it's pretty neat as far as when it comes to interactive reading for the kids. So there's not too many like bells and whistles to show you about it, but it's definitely a source for online digital books that they can like track print and read along, and they have it available on Launchpad. Okay, Discovery Ed. So I used to just use this for videos, right? Like you need a video real quick, a video segment, but they have so much more. So I'm gonna kind of like go across this little toolbar and kind of, what are you doing? I'm going to just talk about each little icon and what it does. So the trending icon basically shows you all the books, but the articles, the videos, there's images, there's activities that are super popular right now, ones that are like trending. Obviously, coronavirus. If I click on that, it shows me everything by grade level. Like I can sort through K to 5. I can do 6 to 8. It lets me go ahead and sort between the grade levels. I mean, obviously, if you were showing something on that to kinder, it will probably look a little different than 9th and 12th grade. All right, but here's like an activity. They can make like a poster or whatever. So there's different trending ideas. Also, when I just click on that icon up in the top left corner to go back to the home screen. So the next one is by subject, and you can search literally by subject, looking for the different videos, okay? You can search by standard, so you can actually look at the different TEKS. If you go down right here, and then you're able to designate what grade level up top, and then also what specific subjects. Maybe you want science, kindergarten, and then you can choose, oh, they're able to recognize objects in the sky and their patterns. So maybe they're describing the weather changes, and now it's pulling up everything that would hit that TEK and be appropriate for that grade level. So that is pretty cool. Going back to their website, we can also search by my content. Now I'm going to come back more to this in a second, because this is access to the content that like you can create. So you can save videos, you can save images, you can save articles, you can save activities, and it's kind of like almost like your file cabinet organizer. So like here's one on Earth Day. I created a folder called Earth Day, and inside the Earth Day folder, I've put some videos that I thought were cool, talking about like pollution that was going on. Then I can go back to my content. I have some other folders. You can create a folder for whatever topic you wanted to cover. And then from there, you're able to assign those folders to your kids, okay? We'll go back to that, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So Studio, this is pretty neat. There are like webinars, I think, that you can even learn more about this, but they're able to create like a board. So they could be, you could assign them different topics like your content, and your My Content for them to read about. Like say it's the Earth Day one, and you have hand-picked videos and things that you've added into their images, that type of thing, articles. Then they can take that and showcase their learning by creating one of these studio boards. So you just like, let's create. I had a harder time starting from a template, so I just said start from scratch. And you can choose like what you want your background like, but to add stuff in, you just click add, and then they could add a headline. Like if you're gonna make, let's just say, Cinco de Mayo. And then from there, they can add more like, okay, we want to search discovery. Let's search Cinco de Mayo in discovery and specific grade level. All right, how about, let's just say 3rd through 5th. I know that they might be watching this a little later. So here's a video, celebrate Cinco de Mayo. So let's go ahead and add that into my board. So they're able to kind of showcase their learning. Maybe they watched a certain video, you can have them respond to a video, they add that video, and then they can even summarize it or write how it made them feel, or do some kind of like a writing prompt. They would just add and then text, and then simply start writing this video. I could relate to this video because, and their response, so to speak. So Then from there, they're able to publish their board by sharing it and publish. And they have a link, they can publish it to their classroom, right? Because I'll show you how to do that. So anyway, that's kind of like a quick overview on creating a board. But if there's like enough response where people want to know more about it, I will definitely be happy to like set something up for further, like maybe virtual training just specifically on this. That's just kind of like a quick overview of that specifically. So now let me get back to my studio. I just clicked studio and that got me out of that board. And then there's my logo. So now I'm back to the home site. Okay, so assessment builder, you can build an assessment and add it into your class. So I played around trying to add one about natural resources. I haven't really done anything yet, but you can just click create assessment. And from there, you can title it. And then go on, like, let's say maybe this is about Earth Day again, and then save and continue. And then I can put it into my Earth Day folder. So when I send out my content, well, now they have the videos that I've sent them, plus they have the assessment that I have created for them that they are also able to turn in. So that is the assessment builder feature. Classroom. So there you go. That is how you are able to do your classes. So down here under my classrooms, all classrooms, you would simply create a classroom. So classroom name, we can call this Kinder Library. I'm not leaving a description, I'm just gonna call that. And click save. And you can physically go in and add every single kid by their names. So you can go look up your actual children. I believe you have to make your class. I don't think it's something that they can join by code, okay? So I'm just gonna go back to all classroom. I added Carter because he's in 2nd grade, so I thought he'd be a good example. It's my kid. So I was able to play around with assigning kids stuff and see what it looked like on his end, okay? But you do have to physically add in your students. Then you can look at their assignments. Like I can see that he has 0 completed. I'm able to look at the different stuff and go from there. Okay, let me look at the chat. Okay, and you can create assignments for your class. Let me scroll back up. Sorry. Can one person create a lesson and share the assignment with others? Okay, so Carol asked about, can one person create a lesson and share the assignment with others? Yes, whoever has the link to your content, like you are able to, let me go back to my content real quick. So here is my content. And if I were going to be in Earth Day, I'm sorry, hold on. I can, sorry, where is, okay, you can assign it. I thought that there was a way to share that link. I will get back to you on that, Carol. Let me play around with this a little more. But I believe there is a way that someone's able to save the content and then share it with everyone. Or you can make like a grade level class with all the kids from that specific grade level and go from there as far as getting all the information out to like all your people's children, so to speak. But I will get back to that. I'm sorry, I don't really have the answer for you right there, but that is a really good question. I will write that down. Teams for your students. Okay, yeah, I will look into that. That's a really good question. Okay, sorry. All right, so let me minimize that. All right, so back to our Discovery Ed. Where am I? I can't. How am I getting another? Cancel. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we're back at Discovery Education. We did the classrooms and how to set those up, I believe. Let me just click back there and make sure. Yeah, you can send out your assignments this way, so you're able to share the folder with them. Let me see. Thought maybe that you'd be able to send it out some way. So I will get back to you about that, Carol, and figure out how to do that. But you're able to give them the due date and the date it's due and that type of thing. So it's a pretty neat feature that I didn't really know was available until recently. So instructional strategies, these are different kinds of like teaching methods and activities that you can do that incorporate the use of discovery education. Um, so here's some like ideas for vocabulary. So if you click on it, they have different strategies that you can do, um, like fold, draw, learn, and they show you a video about the strategy. If there's any like classroom materials or resources that go along with it, they'll attach it under classroom details. So like here's the activity written out. All right, so you would select a discovery education video, choose 5 to 10 vocabulary words, write a special term. So there's just different, and some of the activities are more geared to like having your kids in front of you. So you would want to go through those and see if there's anything that you can use. But those are some different strategies of how to use discovery education. This computer, I swear, having that right click on the bottom of my mouse drives me crazy sometimes. Okay, back to the home screen. There's also professional learning where you can go to access different kinds of PDs and tutorials. I'm not really gonna click over there, but that's what it does. And then Educator Network, there's ideas and like inspirational things, like what other people are doing in their classrooms and that. So that's just one way that you can use, or not just one way, that's a lot of ways that you can use discovery education to kind of facilitate. But I would suggest creating classrooms and having them to where you build your folders and you're able to assign the specific videos that you want them to watch, and then you can assess them afterwards and either through a studio board or one of the assessment builders or one of the activities that they also have. So I think it's pretty neat. Okay, so moving on from discovery education, I'm going to go back to our library resources and learn, Kids Info Bits. Sorry, I'm trying to go in alphabetical order. So Kids Info Bits. You can post this stuff to your Google Classroom, which I thought was very helpful. I know a lot of people are using Google Classroom. So say you're doing something about animals, maybe it's insects. When you can go through and browse the topics, so let's do ladybugs. And it's going to pull up different book articles. You can pull it, say you want them to read them all, then you would just click the Google Classroom right there. Maybe it's specifically like all about ladybugs, you really like this article. So you click on it, okay? It can read it to them out loud, but it's very like robotic, right? Not as nice as like the interactive capstone one. So it's very robotic when it reads it to you. It does track text, so that is cool. And you can find that. So say I wanted to put it in a Google Classroom right now, I just click the Google Classroom, and then it is going to pull up all of my classes for me to choose from. So I have created a class for each grade level. I just select the class that I want it to go on. Maybe it's first grade. So since it reads it aloud, like even the little guys can use this because it's reading it to them. So you can assign things in Google Classroom for them to read using the Kids Info Bits. So that is also pretty cool and helpful. Let's go back to browse topics. So anyway, you can go and look at different things that they have available, but it shows you like when you click on, let's say Alaska, it gives you options of like book articles, pictures. Oh my gosh, cat. I swear y'all, my cat is the worst ever. She knocks off everything. She's like, look at me. Okay. So they also have like newspaper articles and things like that. So it also lets you know like the kind of text. Some of them, it lets you know if it's harder to read than others based on like the lifestyle level and whatnot. Okay, but it doesn't have a whole lot of bells and whistles. I like that you can assign it through Google Classroom, but that's pretty much about the only way to assign it. All right. So going from from Kids Info Bits back to Launchpad. Now I'm going to go to Learn 360. You guys, this is awesome. If you have not checked out this resource before, it is amazing. Amazing. Okay, I'm back in the chat real quick. I know you mentioned you can attach to Google Classroom. Can you attach them to Seesaw? I'm going to ask about that, Anna, about attaching to Seesaw. And I will get back to you on that. I'll email you. But that's a great question about attaching that to Seesaw. I am not sure. I know the Google Classroom is pretty easy, but let me ask about that. So this is Learn 360. This is kind of like a discovery education a little bit, but there's so much more stuff available. There is like every single episode of Reading Rainbow. Like, oh, I could see a library assignment in the future of a Reading Rainbow, and so that's pretty neat. I'm going to go across the little top here and let you know, but you can set up a classroom. So I'll show you how to do that. Over here is like my little icon. When I click on it, it gives me more options. So I can go to like my classes, and I kept setting up second grade classes so I could play with my kids' information. So you can create a class. So let's go ahead and say it is kindergarten library, and then I can select the grade and then create. Now I can import them from my Google Classroom. So hopefully like that's already set up, but there's not a feature for Seesaw. Again, I can ask about that, Anna. But you can just create your own. You don't necessarily have to import them. I think that, let's see, oops, I clicked on that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. X, okay, sorry about that. Let me go back to Learn 360. My bad. What? Okay, y'all, this was unexpected. My apologies. What is going on? Okay, so library resources, Learn 360. Here is my person. Are you kidding me? What is going on? Allow. Maybe I should just never have clicked that button, or I don't know why it is not cooperating with me now, because this is a very neat resource. So I'm kind of bummed that this is doing what it's doing. Please work. Okay. Okay. Oh, so it would let me import from my class since I clicked that. So you don't have to import your class. You can just create it. So I apologize for taking you there. If you have your class set up already, then cool. If not, then you would just create your class and then invite your students. And here's your code, here's the link, and here's the code. So I guess that would be what you want to send out to Seesaw. If you don't have a Google Classroom, copy the link and then share your class code. And that could be how you get your kids to join. So I'm gonna go back to Learn 360 right here. And then we have some tabs, and I'll just kind of go through and just give you an overview of each one. So you can, if you like it, then you can go and explore more on your own. So the video, you can look for different videos that they have available. You can browse the different subjects that they have, but there's all kinds of videos. There's science videos, there's health videos, there's history videos. I mean, there's all kinds of videos. So you can browse through the different ones, and then from there, you can add them to your class. If we're back at Learn 360, they also have like games and activities. So they have some featured ones, but then they have reading activities, and you can kind of look and see, it goes by grade level, and unfortunately, they don't have anything younger than second grade. Maybe like some of your higher kids, definitely the older grade levels on that part. Learning games, you would want to kind of play around because it doesn't go by grade level. It's more by like subject level. But look, for example, Mammal Maker. Let's see. It lets you change your little elephant legs and so it kind of lets them like play around with it. I don't know if you want to add that to your classroom. You can create different folders, or you can just send it straight to your class and choose what class you want to play that game specifically. Back at Learn 360, so those were reading activities and the games. There's printables. The printables have different things that you can maybe upload into your Google Classroom or your Seesaw. They have featured ones, but then there's also like science diagrams. Now, not everything's going to be applicable to everyone. So for example, let's look at, how about Earth and Space? Let's see. And it will show you the different graphic organizers you can kind of look at. Not graphic organizers, what am I saying? the different diagrams and whatnot. Also, if you go back to printables, you can look at different fact sheets. So there's lots of stuff that they can read about. Again, that would be probably more appropriate for the older kids, especially looking at all of the topics, and especially the math. The math is more advanced, so it's nothing I would give like a younger kid. But the science diagrams are kind of cool. You can look at land and habitat and see the different maps and stuff and that they have associated with showing different things. So you can post one of those and have them respond in Google Classroom if there's a specific topic. You can search by grade too. Ooh, this is a little high, but maybe if you choose a different topic, you might have a little bit more flexibility as far as what the grade levels are that you have to choose from. Well, that one didn't either. But obviously you can like pick and choose and look and see what suits your grade level. But that is another feature. From printables, we also have audio. In audio, you can send like sound clips and stuff and sound effects. But also there's like songs and things like that. So you might find like a cool math song or something that you want to share with your kids. And again, you can assign it into their classroom. Back at the home page, the next one is maps and flags. So again, there's some neat little maps and whatnot. So that would be kind of interesting to post about, but those are the feature ones. So they have like Canadian maps and flags, different country maps and flags, historical maps and flags. So looking at different time periods, different themes, like maybe you want to look at population growth or natural gas, maybe nuclear energy plants, and then also just United States maps and flags. And then again, you can assign those into your classroom. And I thought this was pretty cool. At first, it was not what I expected. I will say that, STEM lessons. And I was like, oh, great, we can give projects to the kids to do at home. And it's more like interactive stuff. So they have featured lessons. But then if you go up, like for example, biology lessons, they have math, they have chemistry, they have physics, and I went to biology. Well, they have like plant growth. And then, so you click on plant growth, and there is like a little interactive activity about plant growth. So it tells you your objectives of what you're going to do, and then they can just click through and learn more by watching the videos that they have in there. And then after they watch the video, look, here's 2 activities, match the 2 parts of the sentence, and then they can check their work and go through. So you can assign these little interactive activities about different topics. Like they can label the different parts of the diagram. Obviously that's not a kindergarten one, but you can look and see if maybe there's one that hits your TEKS for your grade level. But I thought those were pretty cool because they're like little interactive lessons, and you can assign those to the classroom. So that is probably one of my favorite features, I think. Also up here, you can just search for whatever you're looking for. Like I said, there's Reading Rainbow. You can search by whatever you decide to type into that search bar. Look, LeVar's job, so wonderful. Don't you miss that, guys? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little nostalgic, but I'm excited about the Reading Rainbow. They have where you can do an advanced search, and then also you can browse by standards. So you can look Texas standards, pick your grade, choose your subject. So let's do like 2nd grade. Maybe you want science, and then you can pick your particular team that you're looking for, and it will show you the different stuff that pops up under there. So I love the ability to create classes again and being able to assign stuff to them. So let me look at our chat. I see we have a chat. Right? Seriously. I'm like, I promise you, that is a library lesson to come in a digital way. Like if you're going to watch a Reading Rainbow and tell me how amazing it is. Okay. So back to Launchpad. We have National Geographic. Now, this is not one I really like recommend just because there's no way to like assign it to them. I feel like if you can assign and create a class, it makes it so much easier for your kids to get to. Like if they're having to go to National Geographic and find a video, or they have videos, but they also have magazines, they have books and stuff, right? But find this book titled this, and then they have to search for it, and there's way too much room for error. So they do have cool stuff. Like if you browse the magazines, you can look and see, you can filter by the date, but maybe your kids will just see something that appeals to them. Like maybe it's this one, and they can read through it. It does let it be read aloud, so that's great. But again, it's that robotic voice that's going to be reading it to you, right? Okay. So they can click through the pages and stuff. So it's like you're reading the magazine, but unfortunately, I just don't like the inability to easily share the content with your kids outside of telling them the name of the magazine or the video or the book. Also, you can explore topics, and then maybe it's the environment. You're doing something for Birthday's coming up next month. Maybe you want to do something related to that. So you can click on environment and explore it, and maybe it'll open up. I don't know. I see it, of course, just refreshing and whatnot. Let's try animals. There we go. Okay, animals worked better. And then there's just different videos and magazines related to it by subject when you explore topics. So that is kind of National Geographic in a nutshell. They have just some more digital reading content available for them. Pebble Go, I know a lot of you are familiar with Pebble Go. Again, like you can tell them to have research something on there, and they get to kind of choose their own resource, but there's no way that you are able to send something out to them, taking them to a specific one. Like if you wanted them to read about ladybugs, they would have to go and search through it. You can't add it into a class. Let's see what the chat says. Yay, I'm glad you love Pebble Go. Yes, I know. And that's like one thing. Okay, we used Pebble Go for our chickens last year, and I'm kind of sad because the incubator was supposed to come today. So I don't know if Region 20 is still going or whatnot. I don't know if I'm going to be hatching chickens at my house and trying to share it online. Like everything's kind of up in the air. So, but we use Pebble Go for that. But there's lots of wonderful things. So say animals, like maybe we'll go to amphibians. How about frogs? All right. So at the bottom down here, they have activities. And I thought maybe this would be helpful. You can load it into Seesaw, or maybe you could upload it into Google Classroom. But if you go to print, you could try to upload this into your Google Classroom, or upload it into Seesaw, and they can draw the picture of the frog in their Seesaw. Also, here's like another little activity where they're labeling the different parts. So again, that could be something that is uploaded into Seesaw or Google Classroom. So I just wanted to point out those little benefits and features, like, hey, I know we can read a lot about them and stuff too, but like, here's how you can maybe take some of that reading and then turn it into an activity that they can do digitally. So Sora. Okay, so I sent out an instructional video. It's kind of like geared, I guess, towards kids or parents or just anybody who needs to know how to get to Sora. So when I go in through Launchpad, I'm able to get in right away, but I cannot do it through Launchpad on my phone. You have to download the Sora app. Otherwise, like, I see Overdrive, but my son doesn't see Overdrive. So I have to go in through Overdrive and get redirected. But if you go in through Launchpad on a computer, you should be good. I'm not sure about tablets, but I did have difficulty on my phone. But if they download the Sora app, and I have directions for that too, then they should be able to get in with no problems. So this is how they can check out library books when they are not at school. They are able to explore, and so they can search by different things by typing in their search box. But if you just send out the video to parents, or even watch my video, I go through everything from like how to check out books and how to sign in to Launchpad, even what their credentials are, how they find their credentials. So if you just send out that video, that would just probably be way more helpful, because then they're not asking you a million questions. I give them my email address, so if they want to ask questions, they would probably ask me. But anyway, they can get 5 books at a time. So if you just want to promote that and remind them that, hey, like, they could be reading books online. My kid actually wants to read the books online because it's different, you know? And then they're able to get them for like 3 weeks. So like our 2x2s are on there. The blue bonnets are loaded. It's pretty good. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is Tumble Books. And again, I'm sure everybody's pretty familiar with it. But I just wanted to show you, if you weren't familiar, if you go and say you select a book that you have them read, or maybe you tell them to choose a book. How about read along? Let's see. I'm going to read Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew. When you click on the book, though, they can read it online, but there are quizzes. So that's kind of cool. They can take a quiz over the book. Also, there is a book report feature. So that was just something that I thought was cool when I was exploring around. So it's just another way that they can read books online, and then also like here's some things to go along with it. And then they also have lesson plans as well for the different books there. You can create playlists. I had a hard time doing that. Maybe I just haven't played around with it enough. But I was trying to create like my own personal playlist, and I was hoping you could share it out, but I didn't find a way to do that. So maybe you guys have more knowledge about it than I do, but this is just another way to get digital books to kiddos. So that's just all I basically wanted to talk about. I thought it might be helpful if I got on here and let you guys know that I'm here if you need me, but here's some ideas, here's some cool features of things that you already have available. So I'm here to support you guys, but I'm going to try, I'm not going to try, I am sending out one little activity a week for kids to do that ties into library and reading. Obviously I don't take grades, so it's just for enrichment. But if any of your parents have login issues with any of the library resources stuff, please forward it to me. I will be happy to help. Let me see. If you try Sora on an iPhone through Launchpad, it redirects them to the website. Okay, perfect. Where do I go to create my class in BrainPop Junior? I've stumbled before, but I can't. Okay, let me go back to sharing my screen. And then here I am in BrainPop Junior. Well, I said it faster than I actually did it because of my silly mouse. I forget this thing is touch screen, and it's just much faster if I went about it that way. Let's see. Okay, so I am in BrainPop Junior. So to create your class, you're going to go to Dashboard and then Teacher Dashboard. And once you're in Dashboard, you go to the plus sign of New Class right here. And then you give it to your name like Miss Montemayor, and then create class. And then from there, you would send out the instructions to your kiddos. You can even take like a little snip of that, and your kids can join. So I actually went on with my kid to see what that was like to join. And so when I went as my son, once he logged into BrainPop, up at the top, you'll notice like where we went for dashboard, there's one that says enter code. So the kids have an enter code. And once they click that, they enter the code that popped up for the class that you created. And then from there, they are able to access whatever it is that you have assigned to them. I had a chat, but then I don't see where it went. Okay, there it is. Let's see, chat. All right, so where do we go for the instructional video for Sora? Okay, so I sent that out in an email, but I will just, it was, I think yesterday, I think it's even titled like Sora instructional video, but I can definitely shoot that back over to you as soon as we end. All right. So that's pretty much it. I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you found it helpful and not a waste of your time. I just wanted to make sure you have resources available for you. And again, like I'm here, so if you need anything or you have questions or login issues, just let me know and I will help you troubleshoot, okay? All right, well, I hope y'all have a great rest of the week and good luck as we enter into this journey.